In China there is a legend that is told about Wu Wei, the art of effortless doing. The story goes that an ancient king once commissioned a famous artist to paint a master work of a horse. Although the artist was well paid for this work, the passing days turned into weeks and the weeks turned into months and then years. The artist did not deliver his painting, nor did he send the king any messages about the status of his project. After many years of waiting, the king's patience was finally at an end. Having gathered his guards, he left his palace and went to find the artist. The angry king confronted the artist and asked if he had a final request before his appointment with the royal executioner. The artist surprised the king by only asking for a moment of time. Taking paintbrush in hand, he painted a stunning master work. The king was so amazed that he forgot how angry he was. "If you were capable of painting this well, why didn't you paint this many years ago?" The artist replied that while painting a masterwork had only taken a few moments, learning how to paint a masterwork had taken a lifetime. This then is the parable of Wu Wei, or effortless doing. Hearing these words of wisdom, the king forgave the artist, and all was well. The reality is that very little in life comes easy. Regardless of whether you're a master chef, a talented doctor, a gifted mechanic, or a popular athlete, it takes time, practice, experience, and knowledge to become a subject matter expert. When someone is a subject matter expert, people see someone who is so knowledgeable about a subject that whatever they do looks easy. They don't see the years of study and practice that were required to become proficient. What does Wu Wei and being a subject matter expert have to do with autism? It is the current educational practice in many American school districts to ignore the specialized interests in autistic children. While neurotypical children may have many interests, autistic children often restrict their interest to just a few or possibly only one. It is not uncommon for older autistic people to have in-depth knowledge of their areas of special interests. Having a limited number of interests is part and parcel with being autistic. According to a July 2022 research study that was published in Autism, at least 75% of all autistic people have at least one specialized interest. This survey studied 232 children between the ages of 2 and 18 with varying levels of autism. The study found that 44% of all special interests involved sensory-related items. 19% of all special interests involved vehicles or transportation. 15% included characters from movies, books, or cartoons. 13% liked TV, DVDs, or movies. The rest fell into what might be considered an other category that included rocks, constructive toys like puzzles or Legos, animals, plants, and other non-related categories. While the study did not find a correlation between a person's autistic level, age, and interest, they did find a gender correlation. Females were found to be more interested in creative interests like drawing, painting, or acting, while males were more likely to be interested in characters, vehicles, mechanical objects, constructive toys, and computer games. I wonder if instead of ignoring specialized interests, what might happen if we were to build an educational program around these interests? Could a child who enjoys assembling buildings leverage this interest into becoming an architect? Could a person who was interested in drawing become a graphic artist? I myself have always been fascinated with all things culinary. My interest in culinary arts began with my maternal grandmother's restaurant, the Port Arthur in Manhattan, during the 1960s. My favorite gift of all time was a Betty Crocker cookbook that my father gave me as a Christmas present in 1970 when I was 10 years old. I remember thinking how fascinating it was that one could combine similar ingredients with different seasonings to create completely different flavor profiles. For example, ground beef, onions, and tomatoes can be used to make a spaghetti sauce, a chili, a hamburger, or a taco salad. Although I would have liked to have gone to culinary school after having finished high school, my parents wouldn't let me because they didn't think that being a chef was a respectable occupation for a doctor's son. They instead sent me to a 4-year college where I was told to pick a profession. To the disappointment of my parents, I chose elementary education largely because I liked history and reading. I was an elementary teacher for 17 years and spent the first half of my career in the public schools where I primarily taught 4th grade. I then spent the latter half of my career teaching abroad at American schools in Saudi Arabia and Beirut, Lebanon, where I taught 3rd grade. After returning stateside and finding that I could not adjust to the teach-to-the-test mentality that had permeated our schools whilst I was overseas, I opted out of elementary education and went back to school to earn a degree in culinary arts. My father said I was having a midlife crisis and criticized me for having thrown away a 17-year-long teaching career. What he did not know, because he didn't ask, was that after getting 4 years of industry-based experience, I returned to education as a high school culinary arts instructor. I have now been teaching culinary arts for 15 years. I cannot help but wonder what might have been if, instead of attending culinary school when I was 41, I had gone when I was 17 after having graduated from high school. I also wonder how many other neurodivergent people have had family expectations and social pressure force them into occupations and career paths that they might not have chosen had they been allowed to pursue a special interest. While I understand that not all special interests will lead to careers, I did some digging online and was surprised to find that according to a 2017 study by occupational therapy researchers at New York University, 86% of survey respondents reported that they were either working at a job or studying in a program that incorporated their special interest.
If you found this video interesting and would like to support this channel, please click on the like and subscribe buttons. If you have thoughts regarding other topics that I could address in a future video, please feel free to add your suggestions to the comments below.